Alright, here's how you're gonna emulate on PC. Because honestly, this is better than that PlayStation Classic. You can put what you want. But for this emulator, you're gonna need BIOS. And the big advantage to this one is save states. Basically, saving inside the emulator. Basically, at a point where there would be no saves, you can automatically hit one up. Let's bring the configuration down here. As you can see, you got your plugins and BIOS. You do need to have BIOS. Like I said, it's going to show up like this. Here's the US BIOS that I have. And here's how to set up your controls. Oh, let me get to that. Controls, it's however whatever your system will recognize as a joypad. And see, I don't recommend using the joystick option though, the DualShock option. Just set your D-pad as to the analog if you really need to. Use analog. Okay. Now, all you need to do for this one, I'm gonna run. Let's see. Gonna get my crash. Bandicoot. And pick it up just fine. And yeah, it'll go to this big screen where that's just. Oh, the way to get it to the windowed mode is hold the Alt key, and hit enter. Keys been removed. And so picky about being touched. Yeah, some emulators are picky like this. I'm sorry I can't move it more down, but it tends to get real picky. About being moved. So, as you can see, Insanity Beach. Try the audio out for yourself. For me, the audio is fine. A little bit of lag here and there. Again, they own this, not me. You can move the window. It just gets really picky about being moved. I recommend not touching it. Just center it before when it starts loading up. But as you can see, everything works in the simulator just fine. Speed's good. Okay, how to do save state. Hit F1 to save state for this game, and also given the save states option, I'm gonna move like there you go. There you go. And we're gonna do a little bit of magic here. Hit F3 and back to where you started. That's the controls can bug out if you're using a external controller, but you hit escape and it'll go to the top corner and it'll go like this. As you can see, configurations will be locked at this point. You can choose a specific memory card. With this emulator, I can choose a specific memory card. Now, like for certain emulators, it'll have a specific memory card for that game. Like show up like this. And it's not really all that, but just to prove the save states are there. Save states for Crash right here. I'm going to delete this because I won't need them. But you can make your own and test to what you want to play. I have tested Tomb Raider on here. It's not great. Twisted Metal, audio issue. Tomb Raider won't even load on this. But as far as the Crash Bandicoots and the Spyro, they play just fine. If that's all you're looking to play, really. If you don't want to pay money for that insane trilogy, you want to dump your own ISO and just play it on your PC, this is a good option. Now, I do recommend having Joy-to-Key as a backup set up for your controls, just in case, like the bug out, or if you don't mind resetting when the controls do bug out from time to time. It's very rare. Usually, if you keep your PC on too long, and you just keep playing like for like a good 8-10 hours straight, like I've done with this as a long-running test, the controls will bug out and not respond. But then again, I'm using the Pega Red Knight controller for myself, so it's, it has its drawbacks when I'm using the Pega Red Knight, because it's not meant for PCs, just an added feature. But I'll be doing a review on the Pega Red Knight and showing everything. Don't worry about that. Okay. On to the next part. Alright, here is the next emulator I want to show you guys. This is the second part of the video. No Cache ps1. Now, it's stopped being in development, but as you can see, there is no save state. But a big advantage is it has individual memory cards for each game. You can use them in ps1. You want to go back to the beginning of the video for that. You can easily drag and drop it into the memory card folder. It'll load it just fine. As you can see, I've done Spyro the Dragon, Tekken, Tenchu, Jamba. This works great for all games I've played on it so far. Heck, even Soul Blade's played decent on here. And I've had a hard time. I can't even get this to run on RetroArch. And I'm using the ps1 rearmed core. Okay, so... And Beetle won't even show up on my system. I've tried it, so... I recommend this as the memory card folder. And... you got your snapshots and everything. It's got its own custom little logo. You don't need BIOS for this though. I just kept an extra BIOS here to test it out. It won't even pick up this BIOS, so. Okay. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. Just a little bit. To go to emulation setup. Leave it as PAL. Do not change it. At least in my view, don't change it. Oh, make sure all your warnings are disabled, otherwise it'll get a bunch of warnings. Controls, it'll pick up any controller you have, but these controls do tend to bug out. As you can see, I have a PC alternative, keyboard alternative set up in my Joy-to-Key setup. I'm gonna do a video on how to set up with stuff like that next, because this is the only real disadvantage to this, is that controls do tend to bug out from time to time if you keep it running for too long, like I said with the other emulator. And as you can see, it goes up to 12 players, but you really only need one if you're playing by yourself like I am. Because just everybody I know really doesn't like PlayStation 1 games, so. Okay. Yeah. Okay, here's the custom BIOS that it has. You can't take them out or anything. But my advice, keep it at high level clone. Roll time auto. Emulation speed. Oh, you can change this from light to dark. For games that are darker, you can actually have a little bit of brightness adjustments. Like when I tried the Harry Potter one on this one, it was super bright, so I turned it down to the dark setting. So okay. Now, as you can see, there's no way to access your save states, but your controls. Like I said, it's triangle, X, square, circle, and I'll leave a diagram for these specific buttons because a lot of times I do forget myself. I'll leave a diagram as a JPEG file in the folder, don't worry about that. And it automatically picks up your joystick, so that should be good. Okay. I'm gonna go Crash Bandicoot here real quick. Again, with the options, you gotta go and make sure that disable all warnings. Otherwise you get that error because I forgot to do that. Disable all warnings. The autosave option doesn't always work. Untick it, hit save now. Yeah, it tends to be picky like this once in a while. You're gonna have to go to all files. And again, it's doing this. It just tends to be real picky. Once in a while. Let's try Crash Bash. Yeah, it can be like that once in a while, and here's how it puts up. Just tends to be picky if you're switching between emulators and stuff like that, moving the memory cards around. That's how I'm getting that error usually. But I can't show you audio or anything like that. Sorry guys. Gals. Okay, but here's the original screen. How to resize it, you hit the mini screen. And it'll go like this. And there you go. There's the big screen. So, small issue really. At least for me. Pick who you want. I'll go. Let's Crash this time. And as you can see, there's the story setup. Basically, the good guy, the main bad guy, and the main good guy. I'll show. Now, this is my preferred emulator, honestly. Compared to RetroArch, I only use PCSXR for the save states for certain games. Because I really can't stand them. Works my D-pad well enough. As you can see, the speed is fine. When I do PlayStation Let's Plays, this will be the emulator I'm using mainly. And we'll go through a full game real quick. As you can see, I'm not great at this one. But, it plays just fine. You can see the speed I'm moving at. I know it's kind of cutting out at the top there, but just certain stuff. You know, I'm trying to keep my stuff private for a reason. BIOS I will be providing to you on this exception. I'm not using them for monetary gain. But game ISOs, you're on your own. There's plenty of sites out there, you just gotta kind of look. And it's, yeah. And there's your setup and everything, so. Yeah. So this is how to emulate on PC. It's better than Virtual Arch in my opinion. At least for what I want to play. I've played a very small number of PlayStation games. Everything from Final Fantasy. I've played the Final Fantasies a little bit. Crash Bandicoots, Spyros, Star Wars Episode 1 was my first PlayStation game ever. Um, Along with Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, I didn't have the PlayStation for long, the console anyway, because the same night I got it, when I was a kid actually, I ended up getting robbed that same night after we came back from going out to eat. Um, so yeah, I'm not like the biggest into certain games, but you know, I'll be able to show some of the ones I have played from here and there. Not really big into anything else PlayStation wise. It's just if I see a game, I like it, I'll try and play it. But honestly, I can make a better library. I just out of the ones that I've played versus the PlayStation Classic. It's not worth it. This is just a way better option. It tends to be picky once in a while. If you keep it running for too long, like I have, like I've been playing it all for about like 2-3 hours straight. So I'm gonna give it a break and then go back. Which you can't keep running. Like any system, it'll get emulator. It'll eventually glitch. Because it's not perfect, it hasn't really been updated, but as far as the free ones that are out there, it's better than APS-XE. Because with APS-XE, the controllers crash, man. It's not worth it. Retro Arch, once you set it up for a core and pick a ROM location, if you're trying to do multiple cores, man, it's not worth it. At least not on a Windows PC. RetroPie, I can't tell you from experience, but I mean, RetroArch is meant for RetroPie. It's really not meant for Windows PC. So as far as standalone PC emulator, this one's the best way to go. No cache PSX. It's really, excuse me. As you can see, this was last updated about maybe a little late last year. Here's the developer and everything. And it works alright compared to some of the other ones I've found that they say work great. I'm like, dude, you're running RetroPie. Of course, anything's gonna run good on a RetroPie. But as far as Windows PC, this is the top one. If you need save states, go PSX Reloaded. It's got the save state option. But that's the only real advantage, man. It's like I said. This is the best one. So see you guys in the next video. Bye.